I wanted to come on and talk about the power of proximity, like why proximity matters. And I believe that so many of us, we don't really take a good look at what we're allowing in and who we are allowing around, right? What I mean by this is that your next level literally can be a relationship away, or there can be a relationship that you currently have in your life, and it's keeping you from your next level without you even realizing it. Let me explain what I mean by that. I was thinking about how who you surround yourself with literally can elevate everything. Like, for instance, right now there's a lot going on in the US politically. There are some things going on economically, right? And I was on Facebook, and probably for a span of about 5 days, I kept seeing certain people, all of this put up and post, all of this fear mongering type of content, all of this kind of woe is me content, right? Oh, things are going bad, this, that, and all this stuff, right? And I chose to mute them because it was like, on one hand, I literally witnessed some people putting up fear mongering, woe is me, doomsday content, all businesses are failing, all businesses are shutting down. But on the other hand, I'm literally witnessing people in my circle making $1 million in a week, not by happenstance, like literally making it and doing it repeatedly, right? And it was almost like God was showing me, like, listen, you have to be so in tune and so strict about who you pay attention to and about what you're allowing yourself to take in. Because on one hand, some people are getting on the internet every single day talking about how difficult things are, talking about how they're shutting businesses down and all these things, where on the other hand, people are thriving. Where on one hand, people are saying you got to drop your prices, you got to sell the bottom of the barrel, you got to sell really cheap things to even get people in the door. Where on the other hand, I personally have experienced the exact opposite, right? And it's like, you have to be so critical of who you allow yourself to pay attention to and who you allow to speak in your life. And so when I talk about proximity is power, and I'm looking at my notes here, and who you surround yourself with can literally elevate everything, or it can bring you down. I'm not just talking about, like personal relationships, like who you see on a day-to-day basis. I'm also talking about who you get in the rooms with. I'm also talking about the type of content that you consume and what you allow to take root within your mind, your heart, and your spirit. Because whatever you allow to take root, that's what you're going to start to believe. And then your actions are going to follow suit with the belief system that you've allowed to take root in your mind. In your mind. I don't care what's going on, right? You always have to make sure that you are keeping your head and your mindset up here, and that you are focused on elevated thinking. And I said this before on a previous live stream, and I'm going to say it again. From a biblical standpoint, right? The Bible says, and these things will happen, but see to it that it does not concern you. So that doesn't mean that you just turn a blind eye, but that means that you stay aware of what's going on while literally not letting it consume you. What we're seeing today, we're seeing the media consuming people, right? Like if you have a spirit of discernment, if you have any type of discernment, turn on any app and you can literally see people losing their everlasting minds. You can see it every day in the comments. You can see it in the types of content that people post and how they respond to things and how they're responding to a lot of these current events. You can tell when people's anxiety is all the way up, when they are borderline, based off of what they say, how they say, the type of content that they post, how they respond. Well, let me say, we're seeing people allowing themselves to be consumed by the media. That's what I meant to say. Like, and here's the thing. I don't know which side of the political coin you're on. Like, this isn't a political talk, but me personally, I learned back in 2020 that I wasn't about to let anything or anybody play seesaw with my mental health or my emotions. Because every time I turn on the TV or listen to the news, it was something that was triggering me. And I realized this 5 years ago. I'm like, some days I'm up, some days I'm down. And I'm like, you know what? I am not about to allow anything or anybody to have me feeling like this every day. Let me do what I need to do to protect my mental health. And so for me, that was like, I'm staying aware without being in it. Right? You cannot allow the things that's going on to have you like a seesaw, to have you up and down, because things are changing. And they're going to say something's going to come out one day, and then the exact opposite is going to be said 2 days later. So when you have wisdom, and when you're operating in maturity, and when you know this, and when you've seen the pattern before, why do you allow yourself to keep being moved by it? When you see the type of games that are being played, psychological warfare is a real thing, guys. But you get to choose whether or not you participate and whether or not you partake in it, all right? And so in that, you've got to be extremely clear and careful with who you allow in your gates, in your ear gates, in your eye gates, every single day. And that's why who you surround yourself with can elevate everything. Yes, we're talking about in-person proximity, but we're also talking about the content that you ingest. We're also talking about the podcast that you listen to. We're also talking about the people that you follow or might be friends with, and you're reading their posts. If you're feeling triggered or you feel your anxiety increased by what people put up, you might need to put them on mute for a season. The best thing that you can do is be in your word every single day and lock all the way in. Because if nothing else has taught you, like having a way to generate income on your own is a need to have, not a nice to have. And I'm not saying that you need to go full-time entrepreneurship at all. I have never said that. I believe that most people are not fit for full-time entrepreneurship because of the level of instability and unpredictability. Right? However, in that, I believe that everybody should have a way, a method, and a means to generate income on their own terms using skill sets that they have refined over the years. Absolutely. I don't believe that you should just depend on your job or your career to be your only source of income. Even in that, you still need to have a way and a method and a means that you control that's actively generating income. And I'm not talking about saying I have a business, I have a coach, I got 7 and 10 books, but you have monetized nothing. No, that's not a business, that's a hobby. And if that's where you find yourself, then that means that you need to get in some different rooms to increase your skill set so that you can figure out how to actually monetize, and how do you actually market, and how do you fine tune your messaging to attract people to get them to want to buy, and how do you actually sell something? Because putting up a Canva post, putting up a post that you made in Canva is not the same thing as actually promoting and selling something. It's not. And these are the things that we have to actually learn and elevate and refine so that we can do it better and get better results, right? And so I actually was doing some research earlier today, and I was pulling up some scriptures because, again, who you surround yourself with can elevate everything, right? And I was looking up some scriptures about the company that you keep. Like, what does the word say about the type of company that we keep? Do you guys want to hear the scriptures that I found? All right. And I didn't even write down the verse, but this one was in 1 Corinthians. Bad company corrupts good character. Bad company corrupts good character. Now, oftentimes when we hear that scripture, we hear about somebody, doing something bad. Bad company corrupting, quote unquote, somebody that's good. But have you ever thought about the person that complains all the time, having bad character? Have you thought about the person that criticizes all the time? Like, that's a character trait. That's a character flaw. Have you thought about the person that they always look at the glass as half empty instead of they're always looking at the obstacles instead of the opportunities? Because if you're always looking at the obstacles, if you're always looking at the glass as half empty, then that means that you have a very cynical or even pessimistic worldview. That's a character flaw, because that is going to impact how you show up and how you treat other things in your life, including people. Because people who have those type of traits tend to hold grudges. They tend to live in unforgiveness. And because they're hard on themselves, they tend to be 5 times as hard as on other people. Character traits. Bad company corrupts good character. Okay, let's look at this one. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14. Are y'all ready? It says, do not be yoked together with unbelievers. What fellowship can light have with darkness? Now, oftentimes in growing up, I oftentimes heard this scripture used in reference to marriage. Don't be yoked with unbelievers. But have you thought about how this can pertain to friendships or relationships where you're believing God to do something in your life, or you're believing to have positive outcomes in your business ventures, and all you have around you is people that can't see the forest for the trees? All you have around you are people who have small belief, little belief. They don't believe in anything except for what they see in front of their faces, and they don't halfway believe that. Have you ever taken an idea to somebody that you thought would support you, only for them to turn around and shoot you down? And they don't believe in you really because they don't believe in themselves. The word says don't be yoked together with unbelievers. So that means that at some point in time, when you start doing different things, you're going to have to get around different people. Because if you stay connected, if you've got a lot of unbelievers around you or small thinkers, and you stay connected and you only hang around them, then they are going to impact your thinking and your belief system quicker than you'll influence them to come to your side. You'll be quicker to quit because their cynicism and their negative thoughts and their negative opinions will come up, will be the voice that you hear during those moments of challenge, because that's what you're constantly hanging around and that's what you're allowing to take root. All right? Proverbs chapter 13, verse 20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Y'all, the word has everything in it that we need. Literally, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harms. If you trying to stop drinking, it literally makes no sense for you to still hang around people who drink on the regular. Walk with the wise and become wise. You've got to walk with and get in connection with and get in community with people who are doing the types of things that you say that you want to do. People who are doing it above the level that you say that you want to do it on. Because this is what helps to elevate your belief. When you actually can see people walking in the thing. Now, we're not talking about folks who just blow hot air to look a certain way or to sound a certain way. We're talking about real, verified folks that have gotten real results and have the character to match. We can't look at the fruit without also considering the character that comes with it, that accompanies it. Matter of fact, and the reason why I'm saying that is because just yesterday, I was reading an article here on Instagram, and then I went and did some other research, and then it popped up on YouTube about this very popular conference based around finance that had some people on their stage. And these people were successful financially. They had done a lot of different things, financially in terms of investments, or so they said. But now, come to find out, these folks are facing Fed time for committing, for attempting to commit fraud in the multi-millions. So it was like, but the evidence of the lack of character was there all along in regards to how they spoke, in regards to how they treated people of the opposite gender, in regards to what they shared about their philosophies of life and how they lived. The fruit of the lack of character was there the whole entire time, despite the outward success that they, tried to put on that they had. So walking with the wise does not mean that you're only walking with people that have these external results, that you would like to get. That also means that they also are mature in character. It also means that they are living, that they're doing their best to live righteously. And you can see the evidence of that fruit in how they show up in their lives, in their businesses, and how they talk about different things. That's what this means. So walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffers harm. Nowhere does it say that you're supposed to do this on your own. Nowhere does it say that you're supposed to be figuring things out on your own. As a matter of fact, the word actually says that in a multitude of counselors, there is wisdom. So some of you all are stuck because you're steadily trying to do things on your own the way that you've always done them, and you wonder why you're not getting the results that you want. And that's because you can only get to a certain level on your own. At some point in time, you're going to have to pick up a book and start actually implementing what you're learning instead of only reading it. At some point in time, you're going to have to get you some mentors or some coaches to help show you the way, to help, provide answers for you before you actually, encounter certain challenges. You're not supposed to do this thing on your own. But when you do get into community, you've got to make sure that you are making wise decisions with who you get into community with, because who you surround yourself with can elevate everything or it can destroy it. And that's the truth. All right. Here's another scripture for you. Proverbs 27:17. And it says, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. You cannot sharpen your own iron. You're not going to become your best self by yourself. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That means that getting in community with the right people can actually help you become better, because they're going to help to sharpen you. They're going to help to refine you. They're going to challenge you. They're going to help to stretch you. They're going to help you to step outside of your comfort zone, because who you surround yourself with and get in community with can elevate everything when you get in community with the right people. Like, literally, your connections literally can be the difference between your next 6 figures, your next $500,000, or your next $1 million. I'm going to be doing a debrief of the 7-Figure Bestseller Summit after the event. But let me tell you guys, one of my marketing coaches has stretched me in ways I have never been stretched and challenged before. And it's a good thing. And I'm so thankful for it, because I can never go back to that old previous version of me. I can never go back to that old previous version of me. And there are some things that I've had to do as it relates to the marketing that I've never done, that I was scared to do, that I'm not scared of doing anymore, because I did it. But I had to have somebody that not just challenged me to go take it up to another level, but inspired me to do it. And it was one of my coaches, and it was one of my peers. But imagine I didn't have them in my life. I would have still been doing the same stuff I probably had been doing the last couple of years, and would not have gotten some of the results that I've gotten, right? When you are going and when you are serious about really taking your growth and evolution to another level, you have to put yourself in a high-level environment. High-level growth and evolution requires a high-level environment, because your network is going to influence your confidence. It's going to influence and elevate your competence. Your network can also influence your pricing. If you're hanging around people that are only charging the low ticket, what do you think you're going to be doing after a while? I've witnessed somebody go from charging mainly premium price and high ticket to all they're selling is low ticket. And I see them hustling every single day, selling stuff for $59, $79. And I'm sure that there's a strategy behind it. But I also see the other side that people don't see: the exhaustion, the constant hustling, the constant selling every single day, even when they're not in a launch. And you got to sit there and you have to ask yourself, is that what I want? Do I want to price like them and then work like that? Or do I want to do something in a different way, right? Your network is also going to influence your speed. I cannot stress this enough. I've known people and I've encountered people, especially with the work that I do. I talk to people every single day in the DMs. And some people are like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. I'm ready. They sign up for the summit. They sign up for a workshop. But you know what? I talk to other people, and when I tell you, there are some people out here that come up with every excuse in the book. Oh, I'm going to wait until I move in a few months, maybe next year. I'm like, boo, do you even understand how your whole entire life and business can be totally different a year from now? You're talking about you going to move. Like, what? Why do you have to wait to do anything? Like, I have realized that there are so many people that feel like they can't do 2 things at one time. They wait, they're moving in 5 months, so they can't do nothing until, like, what you mean you can't do nothing until after you move and you're not moving until 5 or 6 months? What are we talking about? Do you understand that you can have all this done before that time? We have to get out of the mindset of thinking I can only do this or that at a particular time. We have to stop limiting ourselves. But let me tell you something. For every person that's like, listen, this is exactly what I need. I have this deadline. I'm ready to move. I'm ready to make it happen. There's somebody else talking about, oh, I'm going to do it next year. And you know what? That person that's giving the yes is going to be light years ahead, because not only are they going to do the thing that they set out to do, they're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 other things, because they have the mindset behind execution. While that person that has sat there and said, oh, I'm going to wait until next year, you know what? Next year going to come around, they still ain't going to be ready, because it's not a time and it's a mindset for most people. Now, sometimes it's a real capacity issue. Like, listen, I'm working on this. I'm working on that. I'm in this program right now. I'm planning ahead. Like for me, like right now, I'm already planning the coaching that I want to get in 2026, because I'm already in a doctoral program and I'm in 2 masterminds right now. I'm not about to get into a 3rd one. I just don't have that capacity. I don't have that desire. I'm working through 3 different curriculums: my doctoral curriculum, advertising curriculum, and brand elevation curriculum, right? Where I'm about to actually come out with my, I'm working on my book, working on 2 books, my book proposal for my traditionally published book and my dissertation, right? So I know that in December, I'm going to be in a certain space because of the work that I'm doing now. And I'm already anticipating what I want to do next year and what I'm going to need in order to get to where I want to go. So what does this mean for you, right? This means that you have to make decisions based on where you want to be, not based on where you are right now. And some people don't even make decisions based on where they want to be. Some people don't even make decisions based on where they are. They make decisions based off of fear and based off of emotion. So they continue to either, number one, try to find the cheapest way to do something, which keeps them held back, and number 2, they continue to put their progress off. Oh, I'm going to wait until next year. I'm thinking I should just, and then once next year rolls around, they still aren't ready, because it's not the timing, it's the mindset, and it's the lack of belief. And what happens is that 1 year turns to 3 year turns to 5 years, and before you know it, 10 years have gone by, and you're still saying that I want to, when really you don't, because if you did, you would have. And really, that's what it boils down to. Iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. That's Bible. That's Bible. So you need to get into environments where you are going to be sharpened and where you are going to be elevated. And oftentimes, those environments are not the cheapest environments. Oftentimes, those environments are not the environments that's all full of the hype and the distraction. Oftentimes, those environments are the environments that are going to stretch you a little bit, because it's about helping you to become better. And in order to help you to become better and improve, you've got to be challenged. And the way that you're thinking about things and approaching things has to be changed. All right?